Hello everyone, this is Dr. Pankaj Kumar, Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, SR University, Warangal. I welcome all of you in this course on applications of the additive. In section 1, I will be discussing about the 3D printing application in the biomedical area. There I will be discussing about the different what are the basic fundamentals of the additive manufacturing process. In other way also we are calling the 3D printing process. So as we know that in 3D printing process, printing will be taking place or manufacturing will be taking place layer upon layer or successive layers. So this material will be coming out from the either nozzle or maybe powder bed will be there. From there itself how the techniques are used for the printing the material in that way, and the layer upon layer material will be built up. So those details, so that's why it is called the material is added in successive layers. So in this process the material joining takes place to make the object from a 3D CAD model data. So here first you have to make the CAD model for the given product. Yes, once you are ready with the CAD model, then whatever the shape and size of the CAD model will be there, the same shape and size will be printed in the additive manufacturing machine itself. So here it is also called as or 3D printing or additive manufacturing is also called as it is the main constituent of the industry 4.0. In the right diagram you can see that this is the 3D printing process where these are the 3D printing process. Let me open laser pointer. So this is the 3D printing process, and it is the constituent of one of the constituent of industry 4.0. So industry 4.0 is nothing but the combination of the various technology such as cyber security feature, cloud computing, mobile technologies, similarly machine to machine communication, advanced robotics applications, big data analytics which is used for the whatever the data generated for analysis. Similarly internet of the things will be there, means how each machine is connected with the some technology. So those technologies will be called as the internet of things. Similarly RFID will be there. Similarly cognitive computing will be there. So here the common material in additive manufacturing, we are using the polymer material, metals, ceramic material, composite material and functionally graded materials, and that can be made using different 3D printing techniques. So from this material can be of the powder form or maybe filament or maybe liquid or it may be sheet material. So it depends upon the which kind of the technologies are used. Additive manufacturing technologies are used like in FDM machine. So in FDM machine we are using the filament, wire filament. So those filament is passing from the nozzle, and then in nozzle itself heating element will be there. In that heating element will melt the or partially melt the material, filament material, and then from the nozzle itself extruder will be there. From that extruder the material will be coming out, and then it will be printed or deposited on the print bed layer upon layer. So here some of the manufacturing parts can be carried out through direct what are the techniques are used or technology are used. Those technology I am discussing here. So direct, it can be direct energy deposition, or it can be powder bed fusion process, or it may be binder jetting process. Similarly the material extrusion that we are calling the FDM techniques. Similarly material jetting process will be there, sheet lamination will be there, or photopolymerization will be there. That also we are calling sometimes that polymerization. So these are the commonly used additive manufacturing technologies nowadays for the making of the any complex part as per the customer's requirement. So here customization can be possible, but in conventional manufacturing process customization will be difficult. Classification of the additive manufacturing can be done by the various ways. So one of the technique is the based on the raw material. So what are the form of the raw material are used, based on that classification is done. So those classification are like based on the liquid material, so liquid type of the vat polymerization techniques will be there. Similarly, based on the solid material like filament based FDM techniques are there. Similarly, based on the powder form or powder bed system will be there. So based on that classifications are done for the additive manufacturing process. So another classification which is given by the ASTM, Americans. Now we will understand about the classification which is given by the ASTM, American Society for Testing in the Materials. So based on that they defined there are certain other technology of the additive manufacturing. So based on that we classified like direct energy deposition. So in this process the thermal energy are used to fuse the material as they are being supplied and being deposited. So during the deposition itself the energy will be used, and that energy will be used for the melting of the materials. Yes, suppose the laser nozzle will be there, from the nozzle itself the material will be supplied and the material will be get melted during the process where it is coming out of the nozzle and it will be deposited on the print bed. So based on that is the direct energy deposition. Now coming to the powdered bed system, another classification given by the ASTM. So in this powder bed system, on the print bed powder will be spread and then energy will be supplied. So it may be laser energy or electron beam energy or maybe plasma beam energy, based on the what kind of the energy source are used. So those energy source will scan the whatever the powder material spread on the powdered bed. So based on our CAD model only the scanning will be taking place, and then final solidification of the scanned area where the energy is passing and then solidification will be taking place. So those layer upon layer printing will be also taking place. So that's why it is one of the another classification given by the ASTM. Similarly, in the binder jet machining process, so here the liquid bonding agent will be used and it will be selectively deposited to join the powder material. So here so no melting of the powder material, either partial or complete melting will be taking place in this binder jetting process. So here some binding material will be used or supplied on the powder, and then those binding material or binding agent will bind the different powder which is already present on the powder bed. So in this way one layer binding will be taking place, and similarly the next layer powder will be spread again, and then binder will be supplied. From that binder itself again the a binding of the powder material will be taking place. So that we are calling it the binder jetting process. Now coming to the material extrusion, so that name widely used the FDM, fused deposition modeling process. So in this extrusion process the material will be extruded or filament will be extruded from the nozzle or extruser. So from there itself melting will be taking place or heating will be taking place, and then liquid material will be coming out from the nozzle, and then it will be deposited on the print bed. So in this way layer upon layer printing will be taking place. So whereas in case of the material jetting, so in the process of the material jetting, the drop of the build material are selectively deposited. So here material will be deposited in the form of the drop. So drop by drop the material will be jetting from the nozzle, and then it will be printed on the So here the after getting, no heating will be taking. Before itself the material melting will be taking place, and then drop by drop material will be deposited on the print bed. So in this way printing will be taking place. Now coming to the sheet lamination process, so here different sheet of the material will be taking place, and then whatever the CAD model will be there, as per the CAD model diagram, the each layer cutting of the sheet will be taking place, and then sheet will be placed as per the sequence in which the it is cut from the different way. So in this way you can make the like making of the cardboard model, from that stacking will be taking place. So it is nothing but the stacking of the different sheet in the desired format. So whatever the one layer profile of the sheet will be there, that profile will be cut using the different technology, and then it is stacking one upon another as per the whatever the profile is required for the final product. There itself sequencing will be taking place. Whereas in the vat polymerization process, here you are using the liquid material, and that liquid material, when it is passed by the layer or laser light, or maybe other light also, ultraviolet light or UV light, in that case what will happen, that initial monomer will be there, those monomer will be converted into the polymer. So interlinking of the material will be taking place, because of that solidification will be taking place. So basically it is the nothing but the special kind of the light energy. That light energy falls upon the liquid material, and that liquid material will be solidified. So one layer will be solidified. In this way another fresh liquid will come, and then light will be passing, in which the scanning is required. So those area material only the printing will be taking place, or solidification will be taking place. So in this way printing will be so this is the classification which is given by the ASTM. Now coming to the biocompatible 3D printing materials. So all material are not biocompatible. So there are two different concept one has to be knowing about. The first is the biocompatibility, and another is the biodegradability. So both any material may be or may not be both biocompatible and biodegradable. So as we are discussing about the for the biomedical application, so our material, whatever the material we are selecting for the printing process, so those materials should be biocompatible material, so that when the part is made or implant is made or any product is made from those material should be compatible with our human body, or for what application, biomedical application you are using. So it not create any irritation to the body or any harmful effect to the body. If any harmful effect is coming, that means those material are not biocompatible. So means those material having the property, it should be compatible with our skin, or when it is implanted into our body where the fracture taking place or any organ is failure taking place. So those parts should be not react with our body, so it will be compatible with our skin itself. So there are certain material, so those material we should be knowing about those material such as PLA material, polylactic acid. It is both biocompatible and biodegradable material. So in biocompatible you know about. Now coming to the biodegradable means when those material is printed and from that printed part is implanted into the human body, so what will happen, slowly those the implant will be degraded in the body itself, in the presence of the human body fluid itself, because as we know that human having some body fluid, so in the presence of the body fluid itself the material degradation will be taking place. So over the time, all whatever the shape and size of the implant or part which is implanted into our body, so those will be degraded over the time. So here the resurgery for the removal of the whatever the implant or the part is not required there. So similarly the another material is the polyamide. Similarly the PEEK material, polyethylene ethyl ketone. So similarly titanium one of the very famous metallic material. So in that Ti6-4L V is the very famous material having the properties of the lightweight material. So density of those material will be very low. Because of that it is having the weight of the material will be less only. So nowadays any human body which is damaged or maybe body fracture happen, that time the doctor are making the implant, and that implant is implanted into the whatever the area where the fracture taking place. So different alloys of the titanium will be there. Similarly the other material cobalt chromium alloys will be there, which is widely used for the making of the implant and the prosthetic applications. So similarly this material when used in the 3D printing process, the fine mesh or lattice structure on the surface of the implant can be also generated. In the right side of the this you can see that this kind of the lattice can be produced for this material, and then it will be implanted into the human body. So what will happen, the bone growth, suppose we are making of the bone, so in that case bone growth will be taking place it will be the vacant area or empty area will be there. So in this way one can make the implant as the lattice implant. Similarly CBN particulate reinforced with the titanium material, so it may increase the wear resistant property of those titanium material, as we know that titanium having the poor wear resistant properties. Because of that, if you are using the any implant which is made from the titanium alloys, so over the time the wear and tear will be taking place to the implant, and it may cause to the human body, or maybe pain will start in the respective area where it is implanted. So that's why to increase the wear resistant properties of this material, titanium material, so one can reinforce with the CBN material. Because why is CBN material? Because CBN material having the properties of the high wear resistant, so it will decrease the wear out of the given implant or made implant. So one can use for this application. Now coming to the here healthcare application of the biomedical applications, 3D printing applications. So it can be used for the tissue engineering. In tissue engineering, different organs are made using different additive manufacturing techniques. So part which is directly made from those 3D printing process can be used as the prosthetic, or maybe sometimes our some of the ear portion is damaged, so those damaged area will be removed and it will be implanted, or it can be prosthetic will be made similar to our ear. As we know that ear, whatever the profile of this ear will be there, so those profile will be sent to the CAD model, and then from the CAD model itself one can convert into the STL file format, and then printing will be taking place. So this can be used for the tissue engineering. Similarly, it can be used for the implant making. So here I have shown you there are various type of the implant present here. So those implant can be also made from the this application. So similarly, I am showing about the acetabular bone. So this bone can be used for the here hip joint or near to the hip joint. So similarly, you are making the knee implant joint. So that time, so these are the different applications of the additive manufacturing in the medical field. Similarly, it can be also used for the drug delivery, where the certain required area will be there. So those areas, so the drugs will be sent out, and then from those drugs only recovery will be taking place for the required area. Similarly, it can be used for the surgical applications. So surgical equipment are made from these material or 3D printing process, so that the quality and whatever the design material of the surgical instrument will be there, so that can be used. So similarly it can be used for the operative purpose also, operating planning purpose. So here one of the diagram I have shown you, and then here it is showing that doctor may do the practice of performing the operation on the design model, or maybe like certain prototype will be there, and then before performing the real surgery, that time doctor will be knowing about or team of the doctor will be knowing about what are the steps they can follow during the actual surgery process. So there are certain open source softwares which can be used for the making of the 3D printing purpose. So here one of the like a 3D printer is the RepRap. So similarly another maybe the like framework, another which is developed by them also. Similarly the CAD model can be also taken from the different source, or it can be used for the making of the like real life product. So CAD software like Fusion 360 can be used, or it can be used like Creo software, or maybe AutoCAD, or it may be any code like SolidWorks or any other software can be used. So here now there are certain repository where the CAD model are available, or maybe some scientists and engineers, they are designing the CAD model and they are keeping on the some database. So from that database also one can use the CAD model. Standard CAD model will be there. From as per the requirement, that CAD model can be again downloaded and can saved in the STL file format as per the requirement. So similarly there are certain slicing software, as we know that we have to perform slicing of whatever the CAD model we have made. So those slicing can be done using the different software. So one of the very famous open source software is the Cura software, which is like produced by the Ultimaker software, the Ultimaker company, having the lot of 3D printing machines. So these are the things related to slicing software. So there are certain resources which can be used for the this purpose. So those can be online resources will be there. From those resource database one can download the required the information and can start the printing of the material as per the 3D printing. Now coming to the what is the need of the biomedical implant. So here so need is that so sometimes we know that whatever the like any body fracture happened, so those area bone may be damaged, so replace to the fractured area with some some additional design material, so that when bone grown will be there, so by that time it will be inserted in the body, and then complete bone growth will be there, so that time it can be removed out. So that is the, so there are certain things that I am going to discuss about the what is the need of the biomedical implant. So first is that whatever the bio implant we are making, so it can be bio compatible, it must be biocompatible, but it can be biodegradable or non-degradable. It depends upon the, so it should be first biocompatible, then only we can use those material for the biomedical implant purpose. So after that, here we know that certain cases we have seen that previously, so it will provide, means biomedical implant will provide environment for the tissue formation for variety of tasks like nerves, lungs, skins, and orthopedic applications or issue there. So grown of the skins and other organs will be very easy compared to without using implant. So for that purpose, here the biomedical implant are also used. So similarly, sometimes also we have seen that in the case of the soft bone cartilage in the hip joint and knee joint and the shoulder joint, where may be taking place over the passage of the time, and then this condition will become worst, or it may be very painful if those like design of the implant is getting changed over the time. So because of the change in the design or maybe the structure of the implant, because of the wear and tear, so this lead to the like pain in the body itself. Sometimes we are also calling the arthritis name of the disease. So in this way, sometimes it is required to have the proper biomedical implant design and shape, so that it will be not having the any pain or any other issue in our human body. Similarly, the most common issue with the implant is metal to metal contact, that I was discussing in the previous things. So where will result in the making of the failure, even failure of the implant, or maybe size will be reduced than the original size. So because of that, maybe pain will come and then issue may come. So because of this reason, we have to use the biomedical implant, so that whatever the original shape and size of the fractured or whatever the damaged area is there, in that damaged area our design of the implant will be there. So now coming to the, we will have one case study. In that case study, we'll learn about how the tibia and fibula bone fracture happening there, and then how we can replace those fractured area with the some biomedical implant. So basically in this case study, I will be discussing about the using 3D printing technique. We have to make the like a certain fractured area, the whatever the area design is there, so those design part design, and it will be implanted in the human body, and over the time how degradation taking place. So degradation analysis also will be discussing how degradation can be done, and then what are the other conditions. So that will be discussing in this case study. So here, as we know that tibia bone is the largest of the two bones. So what are those two bones? Tibia bone and then fibula bone. So in this like image, you can see that this is the image of the we have taken from the doctor. In that this is the image, X-ray image. So this is the tibia bone, and this is the fibula, and this is the ankle, and this is the knee. So here we can see that there are two bones. So it support, these two bones will support whatever the our body weight is there. So those on this, and it will connect with the knee and the our ankle. So those body weight will be taken care by this both two bones. So sometimes we have seen that tibia bone shaft fracture occurred along the length of the bone. So whatever the length direction is there, in that length direction itself tibia bone fracture taking place. So similarly, the function of the fibula bone is to combine the tibia and provide the stability to the ankle joint. So whatever the ankle joint is there, so this ankle joint and this tibia bone is there, this will be supported by the fibula bone. Yes. So in this way we have seen that. So what is the role of the different bones in our leg? So here, what is the mechanism of the injury for the tibia and fibula bone is there? So those I am discussing here. Now we can see that most of the injury will be taking place. Then can be divided into two categories. First is the low energy injuries. Low energy injury, nothing but the sometimes while walking, while making the falling on the ground floor, so that time what kind of the injury taking place? So those injury will come under the low energy impact fractured. So but in the case of the high energy impact, someone is falling from the certain very high height, so those are sometimes maybe accident happen with the vehicle, so that time fractured happening. So those we are calling the high energy impact, because of that injuries taking place. So like a motor vehicle that I was discussing about, or maybe certain height. So in this way, now you can see that when the low impact will be there, that time very minor fracture will happen. But in the case of the high impact energy, this kind of the complete fracture may be taking place in the tibia bone. So in that case, what doctor are they doing? So they are implanting certain rods or whatever the shape is required as per the like a fracture happens. So doctor is deciding. So based on that only they are making the implant, and then they are inserting, after doing the surgery, they are inserting the required shape and size of the implant. So here just what are the different types of the implant will be there, those I am discussing here. Now you can see that tibia and fibula fracture taking place in different direction and different ways itself. Now in the first case you can see that transverse fracture happens. So in the transverse fracture, now you can see that here the complete fracture taking place in the transverse direction, whatever transverse to this direction, so 90 degree to the bone. But in the case of the sometimes stress formation, so because of the low impact, so stress formation may be taking place. So this is another type of the fracture. Similarly, sometimes because of the high impact energy, fracture may be taking place, and complete separation of the two part will be taking place. Similarly, the maybe sometimes a bending may be taking place, or maybe partial bending will be taking place for the bone. So those can be categorized in the green stick fractured. So similarly, the maybe communicated type of the fractured, in that case we can see that multiple part of the bone taking place. So fractured happen and it dogged into the multiple part. So in that case again this is the one of the serious kind of the injuries taking place. So maybe displacement may be taking place, like in the oblique displacement kind of things will be there. So you have to make, or maybe you have to use the implant. Those implant can be together bind this broken bone, and then can be over the time it may be joined together. So these are the different kind of the fractured happening in the human body. So these are the different classification. Now coming to the what is the need of the biodegradable material for the implant, so that I am discussing about. As we know that when the fracture happened, that time doctor will perform surgery, and whatever the fracture happened, as per the fracture only doctor are inserting the implant, required shape and size of the implant in the human body. So but in suppose if you are using the metallic material, in that case what will happen, this metallic implant will be removed after certain period of time, maybe 4 years, 5 years, when the complete bone growth will be taking place, and then complete bonding of the broken bone will be taking place. At that time we have to remove the whatever the implant inserted in the human body. So for that again we have to perform surgery operation. So 2 times surgery, that no patient will want again re-surgery for the same thing. So for the removal, so in that case what are the alternate options are available? Suppose by any means you are making the certain materials that having the proper strength or similar strength, how much is required for the binding of the two bone fractured. If you are making the implant from those material, and those material if it is the biodegradable over the time in the presence of the our human body fluid itself, so those material can be also used for the making of the implant material, and it will be implanted in the human body itself, and degradation will be taking over the time. So in that case what will happen, you have to not perform a re-surgery. And here also one thing one should know, in today's lecture itself I will be discussing about what is the meaning of the degradation. So over the time when the bone is grown, and our whatever the implant we have used, that slowly will be degraded, and it will be consumed in our human body itself. So that is the meaning of the biodegradable. If a certain material is not biodegradable, in that case we can't use for the we have to use a re-surgery operation, and then again cost, and then patient has to go for the bed rest, and then a lot of pain may be taking place in the human body itself. So this led to the many issue. So sometimes also misalignment issue will be there. So this is the one of the X-ray image. In that case, a total this area you can see that complete fracture happening, multiple fracture taking place. So here one fracture is there, and here is the another fractured. Even for the both bone, tibia and fibula bone, both bone fracture taking place. So doctor has to perform or insert the implant for the tibia bone. So here you can see that both tibia and fibula bone are joined together by means of this implant, as well as the here screw are there. So those screws will be fitted for and it will be joined for the. Now we can see that whatever the misaligned was there, so still it is there. So but it is almost in aligned condition itself, only small fracture will be there. So in this way doctor can perform surgery to realign the or whatever the misaligned took place, so those will be aligned together. Similarly, it is a cost effective. Why cost effective? As we know that this polymer material having the biocompatible and the biodegradable nature. Because of that, and you know about polymaterial is less costly as compared to metallic material. So that's why it is the cost effective and affordable for everyone.